Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to the Plus Guys Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Cody speaking, and my co-host Bill here.
What's
Been a
going on?
long time. We're giving you a nice episode, just casual conversations, some funniness. This is episode 4, Bill.
4 or 5. I would have to go
4 or
back and check.
5.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to the first-time listeners. And the last-time listeners and people been here since day one. We're back. Our content schedule is going to be back to consistency again. You're going to be seeing some Duel Book commentary replays coming up pretty soon, probably tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, right, Bill?
Yep, tomorrow.
You're going to be seeing some vlog videos coming up pretty soon. Me and the guys, we went to Connecticut this Sunday, last Sunday, for the Goofy Gauntlet 1K tournament.
Oh, all right.
That was the largest in-person event. The entire COVID issue going on across the country. We had over like 100 people in that room.
All right.
It was pretty packed. Pretty packed. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was like top eight cut. I found out that they were doing top 16 as for like invites to like their national event, but for like prize support goes, it was only for top 8. So when I went to X2, I just immediately left and got drunk.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, it was a really bad event for me. I literally went X2 by like round 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, I went X2 by like round 3 and I just packed it up and went home.
Dang.
Yeah, my only win was against Elitch Orcus.
Say that again.
Elitch Orcus.
Hold on, there's something in my ear. Can you say that again?
Elitch Orcus. Yeah, it's a deck. It's not a good deck, but it's a deck. Yeah, it's a deck.
Okay.
He never saw a Golden Boy. Not one time did he ever see the Golden Boy. I literally stopped him from ever getting Golden Boy. Literally every time.
All right.
Yeah, I was playing Invoked Dogma Elitch.
Ooh.
Yeah. So my theory is that I was gonna play this control deck and grind out Tri-Brigades. Didn't work. Did not work. Tri-Brigades easily outgrinds me. Easily.
So Travelgates is a serious threat right now in the meta, huh?
It's the best deck of the format. Tri-Brigade Zoo. It's easily the best deck of the format.
Even over Dragon Link?
Yeah. Yeah. Because like the problem with Dragon Links is that like you really have a hard time against back row.
Okay.
And Tri-Brigade's literally just set like 5 trap cards.
Mm.
And the deck is like super consistent because literally all they need is like one card to just like basically go off. And they put like a pretty decent board out. Like they have like alternatives where it's just like, okay, I could foolish 4 times, set 5 back row pass, and then on your turn, when you do something scary, I'll flip this trap card, summon a link for, banish something, and do a bunch of searching, right? Like that's one option. And then the other options is putting out like a decent board, right? And that board they put out, like it could be a Trident, it could be a Trident with the link 2 that lets them special summon a beast from the deck. So when they get summoned, they have the link 4 that banishes. So like Tri-Brigade monster board interacts with their opponent. They could also make a Zeus. And like Zeus just blows out a lot of matchups. Like 6 material, like not 6, but like a 4 material Zeus kind of just wins the duel in a lot of situations.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you don't have cards to out the Zeus. So like Tri-Brigade kind of just outgrinds Shaddoll's and it just blows out dragons. Like it's only in a bad position when it's going second into dragons, right? And dragons have to go full combo. But Tri-Brigades also play hand traps. So if they open up their hand traps, like for example, drawing Lockbird, right? That dragon player is not gonna go too crazy,
Okay, yeah.
unless their hand's like insane. So yeah, I just honestly believe like Tri-Brigade Zood is just the best deck of the format right now. And there was a lot of representation at Connecticut with that deck too.
Hmm.
There's a lot of representation.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if Drivetrons make a comeback with their new cards in
So
Lightning
like,
Overdrive.
yeah, I think Lightning Overdrive is supposed to be legal this week, right? Because it officially drops this Friday.
Yeah, it should. The sneak peek was this past weekend.
Yeah. So like, the funny thing is that Travelgates is getting new support, right?
Oh
So
man.
now, they can search the trap card. That's just super insane. And what makes this trap card so insane, Bill? The trap card says that you can special summon Wing Beast Warrior monsters that are in the graveyard or that are banished, and then immediately link summon using them as material. What makes this card so insane is that Tri-Brigades, their monsters say you could banish monsters from the graveyard up to the amount of link rating, right? To summon the monster from the deck. An extra deck that's a Beast Warrior, Wing Beast, right?
Mhm.
So the trap card basically says, hey, you just burn a bunch of resources to do this summon. Guess what? I'm gonna take all those banished monsters and put them back in the graveyard, and then use them as link material. So they replenish their resources and they get additional advantages because when their monsters leave the field, hit the graveyard, they do things. They draw, they search, they dump. They like it just like they do a lot. Like they do a lot. They even lower attacks. Like it's really stupid. Like
Wow.
I honestly think that deck it's just really really absurd. Like I think that deck might become tier 0 once Lightning Overdrive is legal, just because now they don't have to cross their fingers hoping they open up the trap card. Now they can just search it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's pretty insane. Like, I'm definitely gonna look into playing that deck though. Definitely gonna look into playing it because I'm a control player. That's my cup of tea.
Mhm.
As far as Tritons go, that new Herald monster is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it for months.
Like, he's pretty crazy. The fact that you just dump a Herald the Arclight from your extra deck off of a normal summon is pretty crazy.
Yep.
Pretty crazy. What's the second effect? If he gets tributed, he special summons level 2 fairy or something from your graveyard?
Um,
Is that his second effect?
Something about getting tributed. I know it's the
Yeah,
first effect that's really important, but the second effect does come up, I think.
I'm not a dry time player, so I haven't really do my homework on that card
Yeah,
just yet.
I gotta
You
get
know,
back into it myself.
yeah, you know. I've been playing a lot of dragons for the past like couple of months. Um, I can confidently say that I'm a pretty good dragon player. I went to the um, I went to a couple of events with, and I did pretty well with the deck. Like funny enough, I first played the deck at PPG Miami, and I was completely clueless. Like I knew like one combo, like one or two combos, right? Like make the full combo board. Like I knew one or two of them, but it wasn't even the most optimal combo. Like I basically learned how to do the Romulus combo, right? And then once I got to PPG Miami, I did the mirror matches. I saw people go Heretic Seal first, then made Romulus later on. And I was like, oh, that's smart because if you get in the build here, you have a backup. So when I was at PPG Miami playing this absurdly broken deck, I was actually learning how to play it from my opponents in real
Yeah.
time.
Hmm.
So I paid attention to their combo line of play, and then I just started mimicking them after a while. Like that's kind of cool thing about doing mirror matches. You can learn from your opponent as you're playing in mid tournament if you could keep up with them. Like if you know your deck and how it's supposed to operate, all you need to do is see a combo like one time and then just remember it, and then that's it. You know.
Yeah, and that's
But
one of the reasons why I love mirror matches. No matter what the deck, I love mirror matches. I love
yeah,
seeing what
because
they do.
so I ended up top 16 at the PPG Miami, which was a really cool trip. Like I thought Miami was pretty cool. Um, Funny enough, though, Miami isn't as beautiful as you see on TV.
Oh,
So, like, where I'm from, which is Jersey, right? I'm used to seeing the tall skyscraper buildings, Like, because, we have some in Newark, we have some in Jersey City, we have some in New York City. So when I think of big cities, I think of big skyscrapers. I didn't see any of that in Miami. You know, like the weather down there was very nice, given the fact that at the time, I think, it was pretty cold up in Jersey. So when I came down there, it was like 89 degrees. It was like a breath of fresh air, right? Like Miami wasn't this crazy, luxurious place for me particularly. Although I would definitely go back down there again, though.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, PPG, the venue was really cool. There's a lot of people there too. Like definitely a cool venue. I'll definitely go back there. I know I said like I think like the first episode, I was like, yo, why would I go down there to play Yu-Gi-Oh! In a pandemic, right?
Right.
Well, one of the benefits is when you're traveling to these events, people are going down there ready to trade cards, ready to sell cards, ready to buy cards. So if you're trying to make money off the second market, you definitely want to go to these events that are happening right now. Because those are the locations you want to go to if you want to pick up or offload cards at a high volume. A very high volume. Because at Connecticut, at the Goofy Gauntlet 1K, Luxury was sponsoring the event. And someone told me that their buying percentages were like 80%.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was just like, damn, that's like really good numbers, Like that's pretty good. Like, I'm saying? Like, you can't beat that, So it's like if you were somebody who had a binder, right? And you were ready to get rid of that binder and they're like, yo, I'll buy off you for 80%. I'm saying? That's the perfect place to be at, Like, yeah. So. Yeah, so
it's pretty good.
I definitely think people who are vaccinated or people who are not concerned about COVID, if you're really into the game and you're trying to make some money, you definitely should be going to these 1Ks. They're just cash grabs. They're definitely just cash grabs.
All right.
How's it like over there in Indiana though for you?
Man, I haven't really been to locals in a while. But we had a big event, not Yu-Gi-Oh event, just the city's biggest event of the year, the ND 500, racing.
Oh,
Yeah, like
okay.
100K people packed in the stadium.
Really, 100,000? What does that
Yeah,
even look like? What does that even look like?
a lot. So much that when I went out to go to the store, I had to immediately go back inside because the traffic was just too bad. I just couldn't even get out the
How
parking lot.
many how many people fill up a WrestleMania event? Do you know?
How many people pull up at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Anywhere from 80 to a little bit over 100,000. So that's pretty much it.
All right, so that's basically a WrestleMania event then.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, listen, it's a good sign for people who want to go back to the norm, Definitely a good sign. So, hey, I personally feel like by September, we're going to have an in-person YCS. That's my opinion.
Hopefully. Heck, wrestling's back.
Yeah.
Wrestling's back.
Yeah, wrestling. Yeah, but Vince didn't care. Like, Vince was having that WrestleMania in the middle of COVID, like at the very beginning. He's like, I'm not canceling WrestleMania. Do you know who I am? Like,
yeah.
But like that's not really an indicator for good or not. I think basketball and NFL are pretty good indicators because basketball have full crowds now.
But I mean, like there was a wrestling event, AEW event last night. Full capacity crowd. They let everyone back in.
What state was that at?
That's Florida. That's why.
Okay. Yo, real talk. It's funny that we're having in-person events with like full capacity in basketball, and you got all these fans like just doing stupid shit.
I've heard.
Trae Young got spat on. Someone threw a bottle of water at Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, like just earlier today, a fan was tackled because they tried to run on the court. I think it was I'm not sure which game that was. Was it a Sixers game? I think it was a Sixers game. I'm not sure. Whatever team Dwight Howard's on, it was in that game.
What the
Like,
heck?
people don't know how to act now that they're allowed to go back outside again, you know?
Yo, is NBA becoming like WWF back in the old days when the fans would just throw anything in the ring?
I don't know. I don't know. It makes you think though, like, could you imagine if you were like in a feature match at a YCS and someone just ran on stage? Like there's no security. Like no one's getting tackled.
We don't
You know what I'm
expect
saying?
that.
Well, they have security at the door of the venue, but they're not gonna have security at the feature match stage, you know?
They got the judges.
Is a judge gonna tackle somebody?
They'll DQ you.
Right. Like what stops some wacko from just running at a freaking YCS feature match, just doing some stupid shit?
Just messing
You
up
know?
the board.
Yeah, just like slap everything off. Yeah, that's the thing, right? This is one thing about Yu-Gi-Oh, right? And I was thinking about this last Sunday when I went to Connecticut for the 1K, right? If you're in the middle of a duel and someone jabs your boy, you're not jumping up to save them. The first thing you're doing is packing up your cards and putting that stuff in your bag. Isn't that crazy that you can't even just get up and save your mans?
Hey man, we
If
got
someone just start jumping on them.
we got some expensive cards here. I gotta put this up. I'll help you afterwards.
Yo, real talk. Like, if I'm doing and someone steals off on you, Bill, you gotta last like a good 15 seconds. Cause I gotta pack my stuff up, put it in my deck box.
Wait.
And I'm not gonna be rushing either, because I'm not trying to damage my cards,
But-
shelving them in the deck box.
But wait a
Then I
minute.
gotta roll my mat up and then, secure it in my bag. Like they're gonna get like a 5-piece combo off of you before I get over there, Bill.
Wait.
That's kind of crazy.
So would that be you scooping?
I mean, I have to scoop. That's another thing too. Like if I'm like undefeated or
Yeah.
nah, if I'm on the bubble, like if I'm X1 and it's the last round, Bill, I'm sorry, I gotta finish my duel, man. I gotta finish my duel. Like you gotta handle yourself, man. I love you, but you gotta handle yourself. Like
I get it. Understandable.
like if it's like round 12 at a YCS,
You better
like, this
win.
match matters. Yeah, I'm like, all right, Bill, you can. I'm gonna scream judge. I'm gonna scream judge to help you. Like judge, my boy needs help. You know. That's another thing too. Who's bold enough to fight at an event? Konami sanctioned event.
Oh, there's people.
Who are these people though?
I don't know. We've seen it at regionals.
Like if someone threw a bottle of water at you in the middle of a duel, are you getting up to duff them?
I think I'm gonna look for the ref. Like, hey ref, what's going on here? Get me a judge out here right now.
Like, that'd be crazy. That really would be crazy. Would a judge ban you for slapping somebody for throwing a bottle of water at you while you're dueling somebody? I'm just saying, like, the stuff that these athletes go through, I'm just happy that as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, I would never have to face this ever. Like, just someone walking up and spitting on me. That's never going to happen. It's just never going to happen. Like first they got to take their mask down, and then they got to pucker their lips and point at me. Like, if I see all that happening, I'm getting out the way. Like, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm moving out the way. Like, whoa, what is he doing? Either you're going to spit on me or you're trying to kiss me. Either way, I'm not going to find out.
Could be
Like,
trying
I'm just
to
out.
Could be trying to spit on your cards.
I'd rather you spit on my cards than spit on me. And if you spit on my cards, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got sleeves on. So it's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
All right.
I might be disrespected, but I'm not gonna slap you. Now, if you spit on me, now I gotta slap you. Like, that's over for that. We can't talk this out. You must get slapped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I was actually thinking about this too. So my question is that right? A lot of these 1Ks are just top eights, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes sense too because generally you're getting like 48 to like 80 people to come to these 1Ks, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Goofy Gauntlet was the exception to the rule. They got like over 100 people, which was crazy. But hey, hats off to them, right? So my thing is that a lot of players, what they're doing now is they're going X1, and in the last round, they just tie with their opponent. because it guarantees them a top 8 spot, you know? Because X11 is better than just X2, right?
Yeah.
So my question is to you, what do you think about people who are intentionally drawing the last round to go X11
I
and
mean,
guarantee?
is it a 100% guarantee? Like,
It's like, it's a strong guarantee. It's a very strong guarantee because
because I would hate
what
to
ends up
do
happening,
that and then not top.
because what you think, if you think about it, right, at the end of Swiss, there's gonna be one undefeated, right?
Yeah.
Generally, it's just one undefeated, and then there's like a bunch of X1s and like a X2s, right? So what ends up happening is if all the X1s tied up, all that's left is the one undefeated and X1s and a bunch of X2s.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's guaranteed. It's practically guaranteed. If you do this, you'll get the top 8.
Pretty much have to know the records of the people around you, probably.
Well,
Making
you
sure
just
there's
ask
no
your opponent.
other. Yeah, yeah.
You just ask your opponent. What's your record? X1. All right, yeah. If we tie this up, we're guaranteed top 8. Guaranteed. We don't gotta fight for it. It's just guaranteed. So what are your thoughts on this exactly?
I can't. I don't think I can really take a side on this. At least not right now.
Why not?
I can see why you would do it, and I can see why someone or people would not like that. If I was in the situation, I probably would want to duel it out, but then again, I probably would want to tie.
Like, it kind of sucks that you go to these events, doing these drives, because, you know, most of the time you're probably going to drive out of state to go to these 1Ks, right?
Yeah.
It kind of sucks that you're going to these events, you're taking this drive. It might even be buying a hotel room because, you know, depending on how far it is, right? And you're playing like 7, 8 rounds, you know, of YuGiOh.
Yeah.
And your only chance of getting anything out of all of this is if you make top 8. But just making top 8 isn't enough. Because usually the prize pool for 8, 7, 6, and 5 are pretty trash, right? In my honest opinion, you probably don't really get good prize pool unless you come first or second. Mainly first, right?
Yeah.
So the desperation of getting rewarded, the efforts you put in, are so high that people forgot that this is a game of competition. You know, like it's competitiveness. That's why we do this, right? That's why we go to this event. We want to walk in there and say we are the best, right? We want to prove it. We want to say it, right? And people are so desperate to get some value out of all this time they commit to these events that they're willing to, you know, they're willing to really compromise their competitive integrity and splitting last round, right? Like just tie it up, guarantee going to top 8. Because honestly speaking, right, you're doing that just to see them again in top 8, right?
Yeah.
And you're robbing somebody who went X2 and said, "Hey, I'm gonna play this out. I think I can still make it." You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you're just robbing the system. But at the same time, though, the system is so flawed that this is what people have to do. You know, me personally speaking, when I won that 1K a couple of months ago, I was X2. Right?
Yeah.
I would have never won that 1K had the people who are X1 they did what people have been doing recently, which is going X1 and tying up the last round and guaranteeing all X1s in top 8 and no X2s. So me personally, I would have never won that event had they did that, right? That goes to show that even X2s deserve to be in top 8 and can win the event. You can have a bumpy Swiss and still kick up in top 8 and win it out. That's a possibility. But you take away that possibility when you're doing these underhandedness, which is let's tie it and let's just guarantee a win, right? Because I was watching Connecticut Duels and it reminded me what I really disliked about YuGiOh tournaments, and that's the slow playing. I saw a lot of people slow playing, just using that clock to their advantage. It's just so annoying. And I haven't seen that in a very, very long time. Because you got to think about it. It's been 2 years of no Konami sanctioned events.
Mm-hmm.
So I forgot about slow playing was a thing. Like I literally watched my man's with all zoo monsters in his hand shuffle his hand out for like 3 or 4 minutes before normal summoning a monster, and going into tiger and going to the monkey that says I can attack directly, and then making a Zeus. Like it doesn't take you that much thinking to normal summon an attack,
Yeah.
Like it doesn't take that much thinking. So it's just like like I forgot about that type of stuff, and it's just I look at people splitting the last round. If it's not your teammate, play it out. Play it out. Give somebody who was X2 the chance to redeem themselves. Because if it was a Konami event, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. At a Konami event, if you intentionally draw with your opponent, that's a game loss. Like that's a match loss for both of you, right?
Yeah.
So why would you do it now in the unsanctioned events? I get it. The prize support is bleak, but it's like, hey, just push for tournament organizers to give better pricing. Solve the pricing problem. Don't create a competitive integrity problem, because then people who are going X2 are just less inclined to show up to these events. Because it's going to be in the back of their mind, go, hey, if I go X1, I'm out. So I'm not going to get anything, right? If I go X2, I'm out. I'm not going to get anything. Because nobody wants to play out an entire event after getting one loss. Nobody wants to play 5 or 6 rounds just to lose again, go X2, and definitely not get nothing because everybody's just going to go X11. So that's just my thoughts on the situation.
I see what you mean. It's like it's kind of like how I would feel splitting at locals in a way.
I mean, splitting at locals for what, like?
If the prize is good.
Yeah. I mean, there's times where I split at locals, but when I split at locals, it's just with my teammates. Like, like if it's my teammates, I'll split with them. But if it's not my teammates, I don't know what a split is. I can't stretch like that. And I also hate when people say let's split. I hate that. Like I hate it. It's like, yo, why would I split with you? I think I could beat you. Why would I split with you? You know what I'm saying? Like I've had people say, because you're in top 4 and the locals and people are like, hey, let's just split. We could go home early. I'm like, all right, how about this, right? Each of you take $10 out of your credit, give it to me, and I'll split with you. All of a sudden, nobody wants to split now. All of a sudden, everybody wants to play it out. I'm like, no, we can split. Just take $10 out of your credits and give it to me. I'll split. No? All right, we're playing it out. And if you beat me, you beat me. If I win, I win. But we're going to play YuGiOh. That's what we all came out here to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's something.
Those are some valid points, though.
Yeah. Have there been any updates on the remote duel YCS?
The remote duel YCS. I think I heard that everyone is going to get a participation mat or something. That might have not been true, but I think that's what I've seen.
Just recently I found out people are actually paying to enter the remote duels and the extravaganzas.
Yeah. Aren't they?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Wait. Yeah, I think so.
I didn't know that. Yeah, they're paying.
I can't, man. I don't
They're
like
paying $20. Yeah.
to get cheated.
I mean, it's so funny, right? Because I like the extravagances for two reasons. One, a lot of the players who are doing well in the extravagances weren't doing shit in like real
Yeah,
play
I see what you
before
mean.
COVID, right? And also, the extravaganzas meta is so different than the real meta. And when I say real meta, I mean the meta that's actually the meta. Like I don't know how they're doing it, but when I see these extravaganzas, I'm seeing salad topping. I'm
Yeah,
seeing Necros topping.
did Madochi's
I'm
top two one
seeing
time, I think.
Madolches, Numerons. Like I'm seeing a lot of decks that just aren't real decks do well. I'm just like, what the hell? I'm just like, how? Like, how is this happening? Right?
Yeah,
You know?
and
But
then,
then you see dragons come and dominate, right? And it's like, okay, that makes sense. Right? That
yeah,
makes sense. No. Come, you see Shadalls dominate. Okay, that makes sense. You come, you see Prankates dominate. Okay, that makes sense. Right? Me particularly, I don't think Prankates are that good, but I can definitely say that Prankates is a good deck of the format. Like it's a good option. You know,
all
it's
right.
not the best option, but it's a good option because of just how the deck works, right?
Hmm.
But when you go to these extravaganzas and you see Mermail win an event, I'm like, what?
Whoa, what year is this?
Exactly, exactly. I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching? So
What format are they playing?
I don't know. I don't know. News to me. But yeah, like I definitely think the extravaganzas are dope to watch. Um, I would never play in one though. I just would never play in one.
Have you participated in any remote duel locals?
No, no. I refuse to play. I just refuse. Like just the whole setup and everything. And at that point, if I'm playing online, I'd rather just play you on Dueling Book or EDO Pro or something, right?
Yeah,
But preferably speaking, I'd rather play in person because it's like nothing beats the experience of going out to these events,
yeah,
seeing people that you haven't seen in a while, playing against an actual opponent in front of you,
right.
you know, like all that stuff is just way better than extravaganzas. And not to mention, you go wherever you want to go to these events and you get some food
Get some food you haven't
afterwards.
seen before. You see stuff you haven't seen before. You meet people
Yeah,
and talk to
get some
people.
drinks.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know. I'm not doing that in extravaganza. Now, granted, if you scrub out at these events,
you're
at these
already home.
extravaganzas, you're already home. You can just hop off. You got nobody hitting you up saying, yo, how'd you do? Nah, nigga, it's just over. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's the one perk about these extravaganzas I'll definitely give credit to.
I think we're
Do you
all
think
just waiting for the day when we're sitting down at a table and we hear the judge say, "Players, you have 40 minutes. You may begin."
you think extravaganzas are going to continue after sanctioned events come back?
Um, in person?
No, online.
No. What's the point?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Konami tapped into a new market of casual players.
True. That
It's like
that
homeschooling.
that may actually be right. There's probably a lot more people that haven't been to a YCS that are playing these events. Like they can't travel
So
to a YCS for some reason, or
people are using proxies. That's funny.
oh man, come on, man.
That's funny. People are actually using proxies at these events too.
Yeah, I mean you can't really tell if it's real or not most of the
I
time.
mean,
I mean you
I mean, we
could,
have,
but a good
we could,
proxy,
but yeah. So like a lot of these guys have shitty camera quality though. So
yeah.
it's like if you want to cheat, you want to cheat.
I mean, you can easily go on eBay and buy a Lightning Storm for $7, but it's a proxy.
Exactly. I don't know. It's like because like I bought bulk like a month ago, right?
Uh-huh.
I get like a lot of bulk, by the way. So if anybody's trying to move bulk, hit me up on Facebook, Cody Edwards, or just drop a comment in the comment section, and email us or something. Drop your email in the comment section for this YouTube video, and I'll email you if you're trying to sell bulk or any cards or singles and stuff. Because we're definitely buying cards. But yeah, I had got bulk like last month, and you wouldn't believe how many Japanese cards I found and how many fake cards I found. And the funny thing is, one of the fake cards that I found, I thought it was a misprint. So I went into the misprint Facebook group with the timestamp and the picture and everything, and I got educated pretty fast that it was not a real card.
Oof.
Yeah. So even in person, fake cards can definitely fool you. Just imagine if you have fake cards at a remote duel on camera with shitty camera quality. That shit's gonna fly. That shit's gonna fly. Especially if your opponent does know what they're looking for. Because if your opponent doesn't have the eye for it, they're gonna overlook it. Honestly speaking, playing with proxies is better than buying these cards right now. Because who wants to spend $120 on droplets?
I know I don't.
Even the new Herald guide that's coming out from Lightning Overdrive, I think its pre-sale numbers are like $100.
I don't want to hear it. I'll wait.
Would you rather buy that card or buy a proxy, Bill?
I mean, if you ask me, I don't really want to buy a proxy, but I don't want to buy $100 card when we're not doing in-person events.
Exactly. So it's like, but it's funny because cards are still moving, people are still buying.
Yep.
This pandemic did not slow nothing down.
Nope.
Didn't slow anything down. In fact, I think people are probably buying more now than they were before because a lot of people are just buying off of nostalgia now. I think the casual market is just purchasing solely off nostalgia because a lot of old school cards that I listed on TCG Player, they flew as soon as I listed them. Right? Like, who wants a Dandelion? Why are you buying Dandelion?
Go format? Or wait, never mind. I didn't say anything.
Yeah, like why are you buying Grand Mole? Right? Like it's just so many questions I want to ask. Like why are people just buying my Grand Moles? Granted it's a high rarity, but still, like why are you buying Grand Mole right now? So I definitely think that a lot of people are buying off of nostalgia. Because of COVID. So it's like there's probably a lot less people just playing because back when people would just play current format or GOAT format. I'm starting to see a rise of popularity in Edison format.
Yeah,
in Teledad format. Like it's kind of funny. In fact, 2019 format's being called internal format now.
Yeah.
Where did they get that name from?
Oh, because Skystrike is just lived for like 2 whole years.
That's why they call it internal format?
Yeah. And like Skystrike lives for like 2 whole years.
That's my favorite format. Honestly speaking, if I were to play someone for money, I probably would play them in that format. Probably in that format, I'll play it for money.
I kind of miss
simply
playing
because.
I kind of miss playing Dungeons & Dragons.
I think that format was such a well balanced format, simply because the fact that you could play Salad, you could play Strikers, Orcus, Thunder Dragons, like even Pendulum Magicians, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had so many options of decks to play, and they all were very viable, and there wasn't really like a one-sided matchup. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like you just be like, oh my god, he's playing Thunder Dragons, he's just gonna automatically win this duel. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of interactions going on. Unlike in this format, like there's interactions happening, but there's a lot more blowouts happening as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
in internal format, blowouts weren't really winning the duels because people had so much recovery. So like you could wipe my board, but if you didn't kill me, I could literally just remake that same board the next turn.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, like I definitely miss that format, and I do hope that the game goes back into that direction again.
Yeah.
Because I like grinds. I like actually working for it. Playing combo wombo is cool and all, right? Like when you make a dragon board, you generally just win the duel if you go full combo, especially if your opponent doesn't have a way to break your board open, right?
That's right.
Like, and even then, like, even if someone Nibiru's me, I still can go continue my full combo. Like someone actually gammaed me, Ash, then drove me, and they still died. And I was like, damn, this is broken. Like, this is legitimately just not fair. Oh yeah. So for Lightning Overdrive, what decks do you see yourself getting banned in the upcoming ban list because they got support from Lightning Overdrive?
Is it too early to pull the trigger on Tri-Brigade?
I think it's too early because they never really had a format. Besides this one, they never had a format before, right? They kind of been struggling meta relevancy since they've been released, and now they have a really strong impact on the format. I think it'd be kind of crazy to hit them because it'd be basically like virtual worlds all over again, right? The virtual worlds only had like one format, then VFD gets banned, and now they're just kind of irrelevant. There was a moment where virtual worlds were still doing their thing because they counted dragons because Shin's a real card, but right now virtual worlds just not seeing no play anymore.
Rip.
I definitely think dinosaurs are gonna get hit though.
I don't know. Did they kind of dip back out of the meta?
They did, but Scrap Raptor is such an insane card. I don't think that you can have dinosaurs as they are with that card being at 3 now. Because Scrap Raptor literally takes dino combos to the next level. So now you can make an Appaloosa in the Savage Dragon. It's no longer just UCT Dalka or like UCT Dweller, right? Now it's UCT Dweller Savage Appaloosa.
Okay, they may need to hit.
So it's like the dino boards just got even scarier if they weren't bad enough before.
What about Dragon Link?
I think Dragonlings are definitely going to get hit. Dragons have been very consistently doing well in the past, I want to say... How old is Edelich?
A year. It's been over a year.
Is it?
Yep. They came out with Adamanticators, and when Adamanticators came out, that's when COVID happened.
I want to say close for like 2 years now. Dragons has been a pretty good deck. It wasn't the best deck of form for for a couple of formats, Dragons weren't the best deck, but every so often, like a format would come where Dragons is just, if not the best deck, one of the best decks. Like they had multiple formats to just like dominate and reign over the game, right? So I think it's safe to say now you could touch the deck, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of arguments be made on which cards to touch. I think Rocket Tracer should be banned.
Okay.
Or ban Heretic Seal. One of those two cards need to get touched. I think it's unfair that if I Nibiru a Dragon player, I get punished if there's a Heretic Seal on board. This Heretic Seal just special summons a Rocket Tracer out the deck, and they continue to go full combo. But also, I think if you ban Rocket Tracer, a Heretic Seal won't be as impressive, right? Because whatever you summon after that, you're not going to combo off on me, right? And go full combo. So I just think that the fact that Dragons could play through Nibiru is insane. Because Nibiru was designed to stop combo decks from making super combo boards that say you can't play YuGiOh, right? So it's counterproductive to have a deck like Dragon Links that just makes Nibiru obsolete. That makes Dark Ruler no more obsolete as well because they make a hot red dragon, and if your opponent activates Dark Ruler, all you gotta do is activate the Chambermaid trap card from the graveyard Titan, and you can negate the Dark Ruler with your hot red by targeting it.
Yo,
Yo.
you guys are awake?
No, we're doing a podcast episode, Peter.
Oh, whoops. I will pop right out.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's cool.
That's cool.
So yeah, like that's one thing I think is really unfair about Dragon Links. The fact that they could just make Dark Ruler and the Nibiru obsolete. Even droplets too. Because with Forbidden Droplets, right? If you discard 3 cards, right?
Yeah.
And they control 3 monsters on the board only, right? And you discard 3 cards. If you go Tiding, bounce a card, Droplets fizzles. Because you're supposed to have 3 for 3. So if it's 3 for 2, it fizzles out, which is kind of weird. That's a ruling I was told. So the Dragon deck it's just not fair. It's just not fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it just has to go. But at the same time, though, I kind of predicted that would happen when VFD got banned. I figure a super combo wombo deck like Dragons would take over the format. So I wasn't surprised, and that's why I was kind of quick to learn the deck and the combos pretty fast because I just knew this was going to be the best deck of the format. But now we got Tri-Brigade Zoo, so if you're not playing Tri-Brigade Zoo, you better figure out how to stop the deck. You better figure out how to stop it. Just banishing their cards is not enough. Like Lancia doesn't stop them. Roll doesn't really stop them, right? I think the only card that actually hurts the deck is Legally Match. Because with Evenly Match, the trap card can't summon banished monsters because they're not technically Beast Warrior, Winged Beast, or Beast. They're just banished face down cards, right? So like that's the only card right now I see that actually messes them up. I never saw Evenly Match in Connecticut, so I was kind of upset about that.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to see how this format ends up going in the ban list this month, right?
Soonest I think is next month. Yeah, next month because we're in a new month right now. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're in a new month right now. So yeah, we were supposed to get a ban list this month, but I don't think we're gonna get anything until after the Megatons drop, right?
When is Megatons dropping? Don't that usually
August. End of August, September.
I don't think Konami will make us wait that long. But then again, they are Konami. They do.
Do you think Dogma Punishment is gonna get touched?
Punishment? Whoa.
Do you think Nadir Server is gonna get touched?
Nah. Come on. Nah.
You don't think Nadir Server is gonna get touched?
Nah. Come on.
Do you think Schism is gonna get touched?
Nah. Are y'all really having trouble with that deck? By the way, the ban list is July 1st, coming out no earlier than July 1st. So next month.
No, I'm just asking because a lot of these cards you're probably gonna see in the Megatons, right?
True.
If Konami were to ban any of these cards before Megatons get released, best believe the 10s are gonna lose a lot of value, right? So if this ban list were to drop before the Megatons, that means they can't touch the problem cards of the format.
But Forbidden Droplets is getting reprinted.
In Battle of Legends, right?
Oh, I thought that was Megatons.
No, that's Battle of Legends. And even that card, I don't think that card is going to be a mass print. I think it's gonna be a short print. Kind of similar to how Pod of Extravagance was reprinted in Battle of Legends, right? Or was that Toon Chaos? That was Toon Chaos. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pod Extravagance was reprinted into Toon Chaos, but it was a short print, so the original still retained value, and the reprint had value, right?
Hmm.
So, yeah, like I don't know. Do you think Magician's Souls is getting reprinted in the Megatons?
Well, that's a card I haven't seen played in a bit. I'm not sure if people do play it, but I haven't seen it on any list that I've seen.
Magician's Souls fell out of the meta a long time ago.
Yeah. So
Right around the time when VFD was a card.
yeah, it is probably due for a reprint. So
I mean, it is due for a reprint.
yeah,
Do you see Magician's Souls getting touched?
no
What about Tactics?
tactics touched. No.
I don't think these cards are a problem right now. They might be in the future though.
Yeah.
I don't think they're a problem right now.
Yeah.
I definitely think that dragons are going to get touched. I think Zeus might get touched.
Whoa, really?
I think Dragoon and Zeus might get touched. If not this list, the next list. Because they just power creep, right?
Yeah.
A lot of decks just can't play YuGiOh because these cards exist.
That's right.
Like you'll be so surprised how many decks cannot out a freaking goon. Like legit, if you just summon Dragoon, you lose. Like they just lose the duel.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, Skystrikers just cannot outgoon.
Right.
Like if they do out it, they have to go through a lot of steps.
Yeah.
If there's any type of backup behind the goon, they just auto lose. Same goes for Zeus. A lot of decks just automatically lose to Zeus. Like if you make a 6 material Zeus, they just lose because they can't play through board wipes. So I don't know. I definitely think Goon and Zeus are going to get touched. If not,
I could probably
It's
see Zeus. I could probably see that getting touched.
like he's just a real card. Like he's a really real card. Do you see Engage or Colossus ever coming back?
I want Colossus back. Just give us one. Come on.
That's all you need, honestly. Is just one.
What about Max
I
C?
def-
Is that a topic for another time?
That's a fantasy. It's never coming back. That reminds me. I bought a shit ton of Maxis off of somebody.
I got some, and I'm waiting.
Secrets, alties, what you got?
Nah, I just got the supers.
Oh,
Yeah. I ain't got it like that.
oh. No, I had the supers. I had the supers and the golds and stuff. I had a bunch of Maxis I bought for someone's binder. What you call it? That reminds me about that. I wonder if I sold them. I'll look into that later. But yeah, the ban list goes. I definitely think Downs are gonna get touched. Dragons are gonna get touched. I wouldn't be surprised if Dogma gets touched. Because Dogma is just really oppressive. But like at this current moment, they're not that as oppressive because Tri-Brigade is like the flavor of the month right now.
It might be the flavor of the month for at least another format or so.
I mean, when Lightning Overdrive becomes legal, that the fact that they can search the trap cards kind of scary. Like I ain't gonna hold you. Like I low-key want to play the deck now. Like I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I already was playing Zoo before. Now I'm definitely gonna play Zoo now. You know?
Come on, bring Colossus back so we can shut that down. No more searching.
What's the Colossus gonna do?
I don't know. Say no searching.
I'm just gonna whiptail it and banish it off. Like what are you talking about? Like
Yeah.
or the Link 4 Tri-Brigade models would just banish Colossus by itself for being someone on the field. Like you know, like Colossus is not a problem as it used to be. Like it's a good card, but it's not as a problem as it used to be. You know?
Hmm.
It's just because of the fact that we got dark roller droplets.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh man.
like we just got so many answers now. Even Zeus, like you just make a Zeus, send it. You know.
All right, it could come back. It could come back. Put it at 3.
Shit. Look at a Dragoon. Like I think a Dragoon right now would kind of abuse a Thunder Dragon board because a Dragoon would just do like a double pop and a punch. There'll be resources you're banishing just to save that one Colossus. You know.
Yeah.
If there's any follow up behind this the goon, like yeah, that Colossus is going away.
You're right.
But yeah, you know. All right. We're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
It was like an hour. It's like an hour podcast.
Yep. Just about.
All right, guys. We're back with the content. Definitely gonna see more videos dropping on the YouTube channel this week. Bill and I will be back next week to drop another podcast episode for you guys. Check out the links below in the description. We're gonna plug in our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, you know, even our TCG player. So check everything out. Follow, like, subscribe if you haven't. Drop a comment in the section if you want. You know, just a little shout out. We'll really appreciate it. I'm Cody. This is Bill, and we're out.
Peace.